Why am I doing this to myself? Hey folks, it's Abby and today I'm going to be watching one of my old videos. So I thought that it would be fun to go back through. I started BookTube in the middle of 2018 and I thought it would be fun to go back and look at my atrocious old videos and see what I thought about them. I also thought it would be fun. I didn't just pick the oldest video. I went and picked the first tag that I could find that I thought would be fun to react to and kind of give my answers to now. So that is the rapid fire book tag. If you would like to see the original in all its beauty, because I will be obviously cutting this down, because despite it being rapid fire, it's 13 minutes long, and I left all the umming and ahhing in. Okay. I will move over so that I can put somewhere here the video. And just so that you know, I have my headphone in here, so I'm listening to it that way. I'm gonna regret this. Hey guys, it's Abby from Autumn of Pellinor, and today I have been tagged by Zoe from You're a Book Nerd Zoe to do the rapid fire book tag. So I will link Zoe's video down below, and I will also link the video from the original creator, which is Girl Reading. So this is, I will link both Zoe, who tagged me in the video, and Girl Reading down below. This should be quick. Ha! E-book or physical book? Physical. I prefer physical book. Explanation, I just like the feeling in my hands. Why are you giving an explanation? But ebooks are really, really handy if you're travelling. Paperback or hardback? Paperback. For some reason for ages I thought I preferred hardback, but I really like paperbacks. Also, I am wearing shorts in this. Additionally, why has my filming setup not changed at all? This wasn't intentional. Although the background is a lot cleaner. Online or in-store book shopping? In-store. In-store. But if I'm like... Again, this is supposed to be rapid. It's difficult, even though it normally just gets shoved onto my giant TBR. But I've been working on that giant TBR. Online, trilogies or series? Series. I think I prefer series, because a trilogy can feel kind of like someone's tried to force it to be self-contained. Whereas... Interesting. Series. So, series or trilogy? Series, because trilogies can sometimes feel forced out of... So for me, series is anything other than trilogy, so duology or 4 books or more. Trilogies are often forced out to be a trilogy because they sell well, versus me thinking that it's too contained to open up. Interesting. Heroes or villains? Heroes. I am a giant goody two-shoes. Still a giant goody two-shoes. A book you want everyone to read? Pellinor series. Why am I looking there? Oh no. Okay. This is always the question. Okay, I've just realised that I still have sauce around my mouth from the pasta bake my parents made. Classy. My obvious answer is The Gift by Alison Croghan, because it's set in a world called Pellinor, so this is where I got my channel name from and my bookish world name from. So this is like the obvious what I think everyone should read. It is. Next one. Recommend an underrated book. Perfect. Most of what I read. Exactly what to recommend. I haven't thought about those books in so long. The Blanford Candy series by Jamal Evans. I ended up beta reading the 3rd one before it was published, so I don't actually own a physical copy of that because he sent me it in a Word doc. This series is so much fun. It is a historical fiction set in the time of the English Civil War, so the 1200s, and it is so funny, so stupid, very gory. Think of like Game of Thrones, but make it humorous. Really good. But that isn't probably what I would have went for now with like an underrated read. I would have went for probably an underrated fantasy read that I've really enjoyed. So, interesting. I still recommend. They're still very good books. And they've recently, I say recently, in the past year or so, they've been published with new covers. So they've been picked up by a different publisher and they now have brand new covers on them, so I definitely recommend checking them out. I have a very small room, but my underrated book is The Last Roundhead by Jamal Evans, and then by default This Deceitful Light, also by Jamal Evans. The last book you finished was on my Kindle, and it was In the Shadow of Hitler by Richard Vaughan Davies. I told you there's a theme of me reading World War II stuff. I started that at the end of last month. It's currently July. I can't remember. It's the 4th. The ending I was a bit disappointed about. It felt a bit rushed and a bit just quickly gone through, but I like the story in general and like the writing style. I finished Labyrinth by Kate Moss, which I've been reading in parts. The last book that I finished that I read in September was Sabriel, because I'm filming this in September. As of putting this up, the last book that I will have finished will hopefully be the Sword of Light, but I haven't read it yet, so we'll see. The last book I bought was both the Gilded Ones and Amari and the Night Brothers. The last what did I buy then? Were Etiquette and Espionage,
Why is it always
Conspiracies, which I currently can't find because I must have put it away slightly too well when I moved back, and Journey to the River Sea. So Etiquette and Espionage. Next one. Interesting cut. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark. The Earth. I have just left books down on
when my cat was alive.
Ground, open.
Her tail one
to
time.
keep my page, I'll use receipts, I'll use sweet
put it down.
Used books, yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Because I couldn't afford to buy all the books that I have bought.
Shut up.
Yes, but I am liking them less at the moment. I have OCD, very mild OCD, where my hands need to be clean. And I have been struggling lately, given everything. And so second-hand books don't feel quite clean. I know they are. I'm aware they are. OCD is not logical. So yeah, that is a problem that I've been having, so I am leaning towards new books lately, which, to be fair, is probably good for my shelves, because it means I'll buy less books. Top 3 favourite genres, I would have to say...
Fantasy.
Fantasy,
I want to read
historical
sci-fi.
fiction, and...
I guess I have to say historical fiction.
I'm starting to like gritty contemporaries, but I don't think... Characters or plot?
Characters.
So many people that I see on YouTube.
Okay, so I didn't know this in July of 2018, and I didn't know this until August of 2021. I could never figure out whether I was a character-based reader or a plot-based reader. When I was discussing books with Caitlin from My Cheshire Rabbit, she was like, no, you're a character-based reader. And we kind of discussed it a bit, and yeah, I'm a character-based reader, so at least I finally know.
That I see on YouTube seem to have a defined knowledge of whether they prefer the character or the plot, and I don't really know. I think I like them both. Long or short books?
Medium. I'm working on my hesitance of reading longer books. I'm still not fantastic, but I'm now a lot happier to read a 400, 500 page book. I'm trying to push that up to 500, 600. But yes, so it's basically getting through more books versus actually enjoying these longer books that I used to love when I was younger.
It's now short purely because long books have started to daunt me. Name the first 3 books you think of.
The Gift by Alison Croggan, The Five by Hallie Rubenhold. I'm trying not to use the books that are in my room. It's Skullduggery Pleasant by Derek Landy. There you go.
The Pellinor series. That's annoying. Bike driver. The Skullduggery Pleasant series. And...
I bleeped out the last one. You can guess what it was. But other than that, obviously I wasn't going to say The Five by Hallie Rubenhold because it hadn't been published at this point. I read it recently. But yeah, I enjoy that that 2 of them are exactly the same, and the other one would have remained the same had the author not been a pile of trash.
Books that make you laugh or cry.
This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay.
I prefer cry.
Made me laugh.
Zoe said that she
Tattooist
prefers
of
laugh, she
Auschwitz
cries very
by
easily, anything, and I also cry very
Heather
easily,
Morris
anything.
made me cry.
But
And I now prefer to laugh rather than cry. I'm a little less depressed than I was.
I vastly rate them higher if they can make me cry. Our world or fictional worlds?
Fictional worlds.
100% fictional worlds. Audiobooks, yes or no? Yes. I'm so bad at listening to them, I'm putting off listening to The Girl in the Blue Coat by
Yes.
Monica Hess.
I listen to them even less now because we're stuck inside, and I read a lot faster with my eyes than I can do via audiobook. I'm a very quick reader, so it's redundant to me. If I'm going to sit down and read, I would rather do it with my eyes because it's faster.
and I tend to put it off with audiobooks, but they are great for walking around, doing your food shopping, doing basic chores. You've just got something to listen to, just whenever you would listen to music. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? Yes, all the time.
That's not changed at all.
Book to movie or book to TV adaptations?
Book to TV, you get more detail.
I'm going to say TV because it's had less of a chance to disappoint me. There are lots of film adaptations of books which are horrendous and really disappointing. And then the very last question is series or standalones. And I do love standalones, I do love a self-contained story, but once it's done, I always want to know more. Always. So, series. Obviously.
So that was the last question. And my answer has kind of changed, but just purely because I can see my stats now. I wasn't logging my stats in the same way at that point. I read a lot more standalones, and I'm very happy with all of the standalones that I read. So apparently I'm now a standalone reader. I do love a good series. You guys know I love a good series, but I now read more standalones. And that is it. I am not going to listen to the end of it because I can't be arsed. It could have been a lot worse, but it also could have been a lot better. Like, all of the ums and the pauses and the over-explaining, I've probably done here as well, but I've not done as bad. Partly because this is shoving it in my face, and also I'm editing most of them out. The editing in this was so bad. I mean, I'm not a fantastic editor now, don't get me wrong, but at least I can cut it where it needs to be cut. Oh god. I don't know what the point of this video was, to be honest. It was just make fun of slightly younger me. Which is always fun to do. So, am I mad? No. Thanks so much for watching, folks. If you want to see some more of me like this rather than like this, then hit subscribe, and if you like the video, please do hit like. And down in the comments below, if you don't have a specific comment for me, then leave some sort of time-related emoji. I know there's an hourglass, and I'm sure there's a clock, so some sort of time-related emoji down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!